Hi guys, I hope that you're all doing really well. So today I have a very fun but very difficult video. I'm going to be talking about some popular niche brands and highlighting my #1 favorite from that brand. Now, this is very hard for me, especially because the brands that I'm featuring in this video, for the most part, I love like several of the fragrances from that brand. So just to pick one is incredibly difficult. Maybe in a year, it would be a different list. Maybe 5 years ago, it would also be a totally different list. So I don't know. Let's see how it goes. I'm very excited for this. And yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to start out with Diptyque. And I have to say, probably my favorite fragrance from the brand is Orpheon. As you guys know, I speak about Orpheon a lot. Because to me, this fragrance is very special. There is no other fragrance in my collection that I can compare to Orpheon. It has something really unique and beautiful about it. This is a powdery, dry, aromatic, woody scent that feels really whimsical to me. There is a powdery note in here. You also have some juniper berries to bring a cold, crisp, slightly aromatic vibe. And then you also have a slightly dry woodiness going on. This is just such a special scent to me. As you guys know, Diptyque is one of my favorite brands, and there are so many that I love from the brand. At the moment, my absolute favorite is Eau Rose, Eau de Parfum. It is one of the most beautiful rose fragrances I've ever smelled in my life. But if I had to choose one favorite, I think it would have to be Orpheon because of how unique and special it is. There is something very cold and crisp about this scent that reminds me of the fall time, like the autumn. And it also reminds me of being outdoors, somewhere very natural, green, very woody, almost like a forest in a way. It's just such a stunning fragrance, and I really recommend all of you check it out. Don't blind buy it, but definitely go and give it a sniff because it is a very unique and special scent. And whenever I invite somebody over from the perfume industry, I like to play a game with them, and I will show them a bunch of my favorites, but blind. I will not take the bottle over to them. I will just spray something and show it. And every time, you guys, the people from the perfume industry, they smell this scent blind, they all tell me like, wow, what is that? What is that perfume? And it's Orpheon. This is just so special and beautiful. And I think it would be my #1 from Diptyque at this moment. But I also love Eau Rose. Next up, I want to talk about Penhaligons, which is also hard for me because I have a lot of favorites from Penhaligons because I feel like the brand has a very diverse collection of scents. Whether you're into something more fresh and clean, whether you're into gourmands, whether you're into floral fragrances, they have something for everyone. And that's something I really love about Penhaligons. I love Constantinople. I love Solaris. I love, what else do I love? Babylon is a beautiful vanilla. They have beautiful fragrances from the Portraits collection. But if I had to choose one, I think it would be Solaris, you guys. Now, this to me is probably the most perfect tropical floral fragrance I have in my collection. As you guys know, I am a big fan of tropical floral fragrances because to me they smell very luxurious and they remind me of vacationing in the south of France. Like, that is what a tropical floral does to me. It immediately transports me to European summer vibes, and I absolutely love that. And I think my favorite like tropical floral of all time is Solaris because of how well balanced this scent is. Sometimes tropical florals can be overly sweet or maybe too creamy or too sunscreen-like. Solaris to me is the perfect balance of everything. It opens with a little bit of a freshness, but as it starts to dry down, you get those gorgeous, creamy, tropical floral notes. I don't even remember what's in here, but I think it's ylang-ylang, tiare flower, etc. And there is, of course, that tropical floral sweetness that I absolutely love. I think you have some vanilla in here, maybe something else, but there is definitely an addictive sweetness going on, but not overly so. Like I said at the beginning, sometimes tropical florals, they can ruin it by adding too much sweetness in there, and then it starts to feel more like a gourmand rather than a tropical floral. This feels very well balanced, very well made, and I just absolutely love it. I actually wore this fragrance kind of exclusively in Sardinia 2 years ago, and now you guys, whenever I smell it, it immediately transports me to Sardinia. And Pierre and I, we had the best time. We spent 5 days there on his motorbike. We rode around the north of the island, and it was just absolutely incredible. I have really good memories of Sardinia, and I was wearing this fragrance, so I definitely have some sentimental attachment to the scent. But not only that, the fragrance is just absolutely stunning. I think I'll take it on vacation with me again this year, but it is just beautiful. A 12 out of 10 tropical floral. I'm gonna say this for every single brand in this video, but Byredo was also a hard one. If you guys have been following my content, you probably have realized that I'm starting to really love Byredo as a brand. I have to be honest, in the past, I didn't really understand the hype around Byredo, and I couldn't really get on board with their fragrances until recently. As you guys know, at the moment, I am really enjoying those kind of skin scent, more clean, more easy type of fragrances to wear. So for me, I have really started to fall in love with Byredo, and another brand that I'm starting to love is Le Labo as well. So I would say my favorite Byredo at the moment is Gypsy Water. You can see from the dent. And to me, this reminds me of a luxury spa. Not in the way that this smells citrusy and like tea and very clean, but this is the most relaxing, smooth, just elegant vanilla fragrance. Now, what you have in here is vanilla, but you also have some juniper berries in the top, which does bring something a little bit aromatic. Like, it brings a little bit of a kick to the opening, but as it settles, it just becomes this really smooth, slightly fresh, kind of cozy, relaxing, calming vanilla scent. And to me, I've mentioned it a few times, but I stayed at this resort in the desert for 2 days with Pierre last year. It was a part of my Christmas gift to him. And the hotel had a smell, and that smell was G Water from Byredo. There is something just so calming and beautiful and grounding about this scent. It's so easy to wear, it's very addictive in a way, and there is just something very beautiful and effortless about this scent. So definitely for me, G Water would be probably my #1 from Byredo in terms of like what I wear the most, but there are so many others that I love as well, like Bal d'Afrique, Pulp, Desert Dawn at the moment I love. There's so many, Blanche, the Absolute, but yeah, I would say G Water. Next up, we have Parfums de Marly, and my #1 from the brand would be Althair. Now, that's probably a bit surprising to some of you guys because over the years, I've spoken a lot about Herod, Delina, etc. I will be honest with you guys, I don't really wear my Parfums de Marly fragrances that much anymore, probably since 2 years or so, but I do wear Althair. I'm actually like more than halfway done with this bottle, and I absolutely love this scent. If you had asked me the same question to pick one fragrance from Parfums de Marly a few years ago, it probably would have been the original Delina or maybe Herod. I would say my #1 is Althair. This to me is just such an easy vanilla fragrance to wear, and I really feel like this scent fits my personality in a way. This is a really beautiful vanilla fragrance that has a little bit of orange blossom. You also have a slight resinous touch, and then there are some dry woods in the base as well. So overall, you get this really kind of smooth, woody vanilla with a hint of orange blossom, a slight resinous vibe, and I also pick up a little bit of a chocolatey facet in Althair. I'm not sure where that's coming from. Maybe it's just coming from the vanilla, but I get a subtle chocolatey vibe as well. It's just, like I said, a very easy vanilla fragrance to wear, something that every time I wear this scent, I thoroughly enjoy the experience of wearing it. It's also a scent that I always get a little comment about when I'm wearing it. I absolutely love it. I really didn't expect to love this fragrance as much as I do, but I think it is absolutely fantastic and I love wearing Althair. I also want to mention that I'm talking about these fragrances from like my personal experience. If I was to pick one fragrance from the brand that I think is objectively the best fragrance from the brand in terms of quality, creativity, etc., it would probably be a different list, but these are just personally like my favorites of what I love to wear. Sospiro. Now for me, there is obviously only one choice, and that is Vibrato. I think that this is like my third bottle of Vibrato because I just run through this stuff, and it's been several years since I've been speaking about this scent and wearing it, and that is quite rare for me. Usually I become fixated on a fragrance for about, I don't know, let's say 6 months to a year, and then I kind of put it aside and I discover other things. But Vibrato is a scent that I continue to come back to because to me, it really is one of the best fresh fragrances. And a lot of people have bought this scent off of my recommendation, and I have never actually received a message or a comment from somebody saying, I hate it, like you recommended something so bad. Most people message me telling me, Demi, this is the best citrus fragrance I've ever smelled. Thank you so much. Vibrato is a very special citrus scent. It was clearly inspired by the Bulgari Tiger DNA, that ginger, grapefruit, and Broxton combo. But there is a lot more going on in Vibrato. There is a little bit of a powderiness. There is a little bit of an, like kind of a green herbaceous quality. You have those citruses. There is a little bit more depth and woodiness in the base, I would say. But it's just absolutely phenomenal. Like there's something about this scent that I just cannot get over how good it is. And yeah, for me, this would absolutely be my #1 from Sospiro, a fragrance that I don't want to be without. The longevity, the projection, the compliments on this scent. I have 2 fragrances in my collection that I always get a compliment when I wear. One of them is Vibrato, the other one is Bianco Latte. Those are 2 fragrances that whenever I wear them, somebody will ask what I'm wearing. So I love this scent, not just for the compliments, but just because of how beautiful it wears on the skin, and I really think it is an incredible scent. So yeah, this would be my #1. Next up, I'm going to talk about Casamorati, and for a long time, my favorite fragrance from Casamorati was Bouquet Ideale, the red one, as you guys know. I love that fragrance. It's a soft, woody, slightly spiced vanilla. It is absolutely beautiful and very easy to wear. But I would say more recently, my favorite is Quattro Pizzi, because this to me is a absolutely stunning white floral fragrance that feels really elegant and very, very luxurious. The bottle of Quattro Pizzi has a really stunning iridescence to it, and I feel like the bottle, like the color of the bottle, the iridescence really translates through to the scent inside. There is an iridescent quality to this fragrance, and it is the most luxurious smelling white floral with a gorgeous fleshy coconut note, and you also have a touch of tobacco in here if I remember correctly. So it's this really smooth iridescent floral with this beautiful creamy and fleshy coconut and a little touch of tobacco. It is absolutely incredible. Something that I recommend if you are a white floral lover, and if you loved my recommendation with Rouge Malekith from Armani Privé, please check out Quattro Pizzi because you might fall in love with this one. They do have a similar profile, but yeah, there is just something so special about Quattro Pizzi. Also, if you're getting married during the summer and you like white florals, definitely check this one out because I think it could make a beautiful wedding perfume. Let's talk about Une Nuit Nomade. Une Nuit Nomade is a brand that has quickly become a favorite of mine for many, many reasons. The quality of the juice, the creativity behind the scents, the price of the fragrances. I just love so much about the brand, and without question, my #1 from the brand is Estrella de la Manana. To me, this fragrance is an absolute masterpiece. I wouldn't call many fragrances a masterpiece. There is a few that come to my mind when I think of that word, but this would absolutely be one of them. And I was actually speaking with the owners of this brand, and they told me that they were considering not even launching this scent because of how complex and daring it was for the market. And I told them, like, oh my god, like, thank gosh that you launched it, because to me this is a very, very special scent. It is not going to be for everyone. It's not Blind Buy safe. It's not anything. It is a very, very complex, daring, challenging fragrance. But my gosh, is it phenomenal. This is a dark, bitter, smoky cacao scent. So it feels chocolatey, but very bitter, very dry. The smokiness is almost coming across in a slightly leathery way, almost ashy as well in a way. It's once again very dry, It is just spectacular, spectacular. And this is another fragrance that I show this to people that come over to my house from the perfume industry, and everyone is blown away by this scent, because objectively speaking, this is a fragrance that has been really well created. It is a very, very unique and creative profile, something that you've never smelled before. And I just think it is a work of art. This fragrance is a work of art to me. So definitely a 12 out of 10. By far my favorite from Nuit Nomade. There is others that I love from the brand and are much easier to wear. But in terms of a scent, like, I cannot be without Estrella de la Manana. It is so special to me. I own a lot of Xerjoff fragrances, so picking just one was too hard for me. I had to pick two, you guys, so don't be mad at me. I had to pick two for this brand. Now, I would say one of my absolute favorites from Xerjoff, it has to be Ouverture. And this fragrance is definitely more underrated from the brand. I feel like people speak a lot about La Capitale, about Naxos, about Torino. For me, a very special scent from Xerjoff is Ouverture. And I would like to have this in my collection forever, because to me, this smells really, really unique, complex, very special, very addictive. What you have in Ouverture, if I remember, is fig leaf actually. You also have some cinnamon, a little bit of a floral aspect. There is a slight bubblegummy sweetness in here, which makes it very, very addictive. It also feels creamy, but warm, spicy at the same time. Just the idea of pairing cinnamon with fig leaf sounds really weird to me and sounds like a combination that would never work, but in here it smells magical. And this to me as well is a scent that I have a lot of memories attached to. I often pull for this fragrance when I'm going on vacation somewhere tropical and exotic. I've taken this fragrance with me to the Maldives twice, and I love this scent in more of a hot, beachy, humid climate. To me, it just smells intoxicating, like truly, truly intoxicating. So for me, I cannot be without this fragrance. It's incredibly unique and special and beautiful, and I just love it so much, and it makes me so happy, you guys, this fragrance. Other scent from Xerjoff that I love and I don't want to be without is Torino 21. This is actually my second bottle of Torino 21. I went through an entire 50 ml of Torino 21, and this is my second bottle now. I love this. Nothing in my collection makes me feel as fresh as Torino 21. This is mint and basil and some citruses, but it's very green and bright and vibrant. It is truly, truly incredible. When I smell this fragrance, I am blown away every single time I smell this scent. I love how green and bright and just minty and vibrant this fragrance is. It makes me so happy. It makes me feel so fresh. It's very special, and I just love this fragrance. There are actually not that many minty fragrances on the market. I really love the fragrance from Etat Libre d'Orange called You or Someone Like You. I love that fragrance. I plan to buy it maybe this summer. But in terms of minty scents, I don't own that many. Torino 21 is probably one of the only ones I have, and I really love wearing this in the summer. To me, there is nothing better than wearing a minty green fresh fragrance in the summertime, and they have done it so well with Torino 21. Next up, let's talk about Memo Paris. And again, there was quite a few that I wanted to put in this list, but I would say my number one favorite is African Leather. This is a beautiful, dry, spicy, ambery fragrance. I don't pick up much leather in this scent, surprisingly, for it being called African Leather. I more get this green, fresh, spicy, dry, ambery fragrance, and it is incredibly addictive, captivating, and very sexy on the skin. For me, this is perfectly unisex. I really recommend it to men a lot, but I also think if you're a woman who likes something a little bit more spicy and ambery, you will love African Leather. This is a really, really stunning fragrance in my opinion. I love wearing this in the fall and winter. I love wearing it at night. It is absolutely beautiful, and a fragrance that Pierre actually really enjoys on my skin. Whenever I wear this fragrance, he always gives me a comment like, oh, you smell really good when I'm wearing African Leather. So definitely love this one. It's probably my favorite from Memo, although I have a couple of other favorites, but I would have to say African leather is my number one. This, again, was hard. We have Kilian. Now, I love Intoxicated. I love, what else do I love from Kilian? Back to Black. But I have to say my number one is probably Moonlight in Heaven. You can see from my bottle, I'm almost out of this juice, but I am purposefully not wearing it because I don't want to have to buy the scent again because Kilian is so expensive. But this, you guys, is honestly one of my favorite fresh and clean fragrances ever. This is so smooth, so beautiful. It's twinkly, it's clean, it's fresh, but it's smooth. It is fantastic. I will say the longevity of this fragrance sucks, at least in my experience, but I do not care. I love the way that this smells. This is, if I remember, mango, coconut, rice. It's very smooth and fresh, a little bit green, a little bit creamy, and it's just heavenly. There is a mango note in here, but it doesn't really smell like mango to me. It's not this creamy, fruity, very sweet mango scent. So easy to wear, so relaxing and calming at the same time. I am just completely in love with Moonlight in Heaven. I will get another bottle of this one because I love it so much. That is it, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video talking about my number one favorite from some popular niche brands. Let me know in the comments what other brands that you would like me to talk about, and if you want me to do a part 2 to this video, because it's really fun to do this actually. I'm already looking at my collection and I'm like praying that you guys are not going to ask me, because Amouage, Goldfield and Banks, Nichane, all those brands are very hard to choose. But if you guys want a part 2, let me know in the comments and I will do that for you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.